Welcome back to Elevation Perspective. My name is Mark. Today we're going to recap the MLB All Star festivities. First off here, Monday night, the Home Run Derby. The year of Cal Raleigh continued as the Big Dumper was victorious in the Home Run Derby because, of course, he was. Takeaways from the Derby: James Wood, Matt Olson, Brent Rooker, and Jazz Chisholm did not make it out of round one. Jazz was the only embarrassing performance, I would say, of the evening, only knocking 3 home runs over the wall. Also, Rooker was knocked out in controversial fashion. He tied the eventual winner, Raleigh, with 17 first-round home runs, but they pushed Cal into round 2 with the logic that his longest home run was about 1 inch further than Rooker's. This felt off to me, as it did to many in the baseball world. I think if you had the two players who tied have a sudden death swing-off, it'd be much more fair and interesting than just going ahead and guessing and hoping the StatCast measurement was correct in this situation. And Rooker, rightfully so, was pretty annoyed by this situation. He said this to Susan Slusser: maybe if they have it to the decimal point, they should display that during the Derby and not wait till everyone's done to bring out that information that might be helpful. I totally feel for Rooker. I feel like he was unfairly knocked out of this Derby. The round 2 competitors all had an awesome showing here in O'Neal Cruz, Junior Caminero, and Byron Buxton to go with Cal Raleigh. As many did predict, O'Neal Cruz hit the longest home run of the Derby at 513 feet. Junior Caminero also put up an awesome fight, getting to the finals before eventually falling to Raleigh. Overall, it was a pretty fun Derby here. The year of Cal Raleigh continues. Then we had a really fun All-Star game on Tuesday night. Paul Skeens for the National League, Tarek Skubal for the American League. You can't really draw it up much better than that. Skeens was electric, pumping 100 miles per hour, consistently striking out 2 of the 3 batters he faced, Gleyber Torres and Riley Green, then getting a weak ground out from Aaron Judge. The National League All-Star surprisingly got some offense off of Skubal in the first inning. 3 hits from Ohtani, Acuna, and Ketel Marte to get off to an early 2-0 lead. It was a lot of weak contact off Skubal, but they got the job done. Our next focal point here I want to briefly touch on was Clayton Kershaw. This was a really cool moment for baseball. Rob Manfred, the commissioner of baseball, chose Kershaw to be in this All-Star game as the legend pick. He, of course, recently reached 3,000 strikeouts for his career. Kershaw has not officially stated he will be retiring, but to me, this felt like his farewell address. Kershaw was mic'd up, and he was just having a blast out there. He got Cal Raleigh to line out, then struck out Vladdy before Roberts took the ball from him and gave him his great moment. Then it was very slow and very quiet for a long time. Nothing really happened until the bottom of the 6th inning. Chris Bubich came on for the American League, and he was throwing nothing. The first 2 guys he faced, in Tatis and Brandon Donovan, both reached base, setting up the polar bear Pete Alonso to blast a 3-run home run, giving the National League a 5-0 lead. Later in that same inning, Corbin Carroll ran into a solo home run, putting the National League up 6-0. At this point, the game looked pretty much over. NL is up 6 going to the top of the 7th, and the AL has looked pretty hopeless all night long. But then something clicked on that American League side. Adrian Morejon and Randy Rodriguez poured gas on the fire here. Brent Rooker connected on a 3-run home run followed by an RBI groundout from Bobby Witt to make this a 6-4 ball game. That brings us to the 9th inning. I thought Roberts was going to go to Edwin Diaz straight away here. He has been probably the most dominant closer in the National League, but Robert Suarez does have the most saves, so he leaned Robert Suarez here. But Suarez was not very sharp at all in this one. Back-to-back doubles from Byron Buxton and Bobby Witt made it a 6-5 game. With 1 out here and the tie run on second base, Dave Roberts called on Edwin Diaz to try to convert this save. Diaz got a hard ground out from Jazz Chisholm, helped out by a very nice play from Matt Olson. Then with 2 outs and a runner on third base, contact specialist Stephen Kwan hit a little dribble to the left side of the infield, resulting in a game-tying RBI single. The American League came all the way back from down 6-0 in the 7th inning to tie this game 6-6. After the National League failed to score off Aroldis Chapman, we had our very first All-Star Game swing-off to decide a winner. So there's kind of a lot to unpack here. This presented a really interesting opportunity to further the game's really strong few days to market the sport. You think to yourself, okay, this is very exciting. We're going to get Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani, taking swings to win their respective leagues this prestigious title. It didn't quite go that way. After kind of a long pause with everyone sitting around trying to figure out what the rules were and what was going on, there was a pretty underwhelming group of names listed for this event. The American League sent up Brent Rooker, Randy Rosarena, and Jonathan Aranda. For the National League, it was Kyle Stowers, Kyle Schwarber, and Pete Alonso. The setup and the pacing was a little bit weird, but seeing how excited the players got as each home run cleared the fence really pulled me into it. The star of the show and eventual All-Star Game MVP was Kyle Schwarber, who went 3 for 3 on his swings. Aranda going 0 for 3 made it so Pete Alonso, the former home run derby champion, did not even need to swing the bat. It later came out that some of the starters were not even there. Players already left Atlanta on planes at the time of the derby, so that was kind of a bummer to hear. I'm not sure if the likes of Ohtani and Judge would have even participated if they were there, but I feel like that was the only real bummer of these 2 days. We were kind of all like fantasy booking, getting really excited about, wow, we're about to see the faces of baseball take these big home run swings, and it kind of left a little bit to be desired there. But of course, Kyle Schwarber, one of the premier home run hitters in the sport. Overall, it was a really fun couple of days. I think Major League Baseball did mostly a pretty good job here with the 2-day event, getting eyes on the product and intriguing fans to care about the festivities. There will always be snubs, some strange selections, and something to complain about, but for the most part, this was a win for the sport. If you like this video, please hit subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.